We just left Cuba after another 2 0-day stay. Like always, when the trail passes through a town, there's road walking in and out of town, so we were walking on the highway for about 3 miles. And then right at our junction to leave the highway, there was some trail magic. Just another surprising case of the surprising amount of generosity that we're finding out here on the trail. There's been a lot of trail magic so far. What's on every hiker's mind at this point in the trail is snow in the San Juans. Apparently there's been some late season snowstorms there, and there's still quite a bit of snow there. We're still about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks away from those mountains, but it's approaching fast, and it's kind of decision time. Hikers are kind of doing every possible thing you can do. Some are going on other adventures just to buy some time and let that snow melt. Some are pushing through and they're just going to plan on post-holing through the mountains. Some are talking about flip-flopping and going up to Wyoming and then coming back to Colorado once the snow melts. I think what our plan is going to be is just to take our time getting there, and hopefully by the time we get there most of the snow will have melted and we won't be doing too much post-holing once we're going through the mountains. But even now, as we're leaving Cuba, we're kind of leaving the desert behind. And it sounds like we're starting to enter the mountains at this point, which is something that I think everybody's looking forward to. We're all much more comfortable in the mountains than we are crossing an open desert. Would you look at that? Other than the Gila, this is like the first good flowing creek we've seen, right?
Yeah. It's so small.
But
I'll take it.
Yeah, clean, clear water. Nice. Are you cooling off?
I am god awful tired. It seems that the first day we leave town is just killer on the body, for me at least. It could also have been the McDonald's I ate. I don't eat McDonald's. Cuba was pretty good. I'm beginning to realize that the hiker community is kind of like a family. Even if you don't know somebody, you're already friends with them. So that's pretty cool. We've been leapfrogging with a group this last section, and there's this one guy in there who just seems very welcoming to anybody he meets, and he's very outgoing and he's very nice, and it's people like that who's going to help me trust people again and enjoy people again. We ran into my favorite person. Mr. Cheshire Cat showed up. I knew I was going to see him again. Seems to be doing pretty well. He's just getting his car fixed, looked at something, and he did a quick U-turn when he saw us and pulled off to the side of the road, and we chatted for a little bit.
So from up here you can see almost the entire previous section that we just did. Way back there, that tallest peak you can see is Mount Taylor. So we were up there not that long ago.
We are finally in the forest. This is my happy place. I always knew that the forest was more my favorite place to be. but being in the desert for so long and then returning back, it feels like I'm at home.
What a difference a couple days can make on the trail. 2 trail days ago, we were walking through harsh open desert. Not many trees around, very little green. Everything is orange and brown. It's hot, very exposed. Now we climbed up about 2,500 feet and we're basically in the mountains. I'm much more comfortable with this type of environment, and so is Amy. I think the dogs are too. Everybody seems to be in a better mood. This is our first series of blowdowns. That's exciting.
It's like being at home.
Do you know why it's exciting? Because there's trees to blow down. We found more snow.
You guys have snow? Yeah? You have snow with you?
So this is our first view of the San Juan mountain range. We're looking over into Colorado from here. They're still well over 100 miles away, I think, but we can see them way off in the distance. Looks like there's still some snow up there. What is that, Minnow? You know what trail magic smells like?
Say it's this way.
We go that way? They might give you stuff.
Yeah.
We got pancakes, blueberries, potatoes, eggs. What's your trail name?
Molly Molly.
Molly Molly.
Yes.
From a hiker who knows what trail magic is like. There's almost been too much trail magic on this hike so far, which is not a problem that I've ever encountered on any of my other hikes. The reason I say it's too much is because sometimes it can be hard to get the miles in that you're trying to do if you keep stopping at trail magic. But I'm not complaining. I will never pass up trail magic unless I have a really good reason to. These people that do this, they put a lot of effort and energy and time into doing this. I think it's almost rude to just pass it up. Maybe it's no coincidence that Amy and I are hiking the CDT on a year when there's way more people than usual. I think we're both starting to realize that a big part of this adventure is the people that we're meeting along the way. But in regular life, we kind of all have a bubble that we're stuck in. And we don't normally associate with people outside of that bubble very often. And that's one thing that's kind of cool about through hiking, is that you meet a little bit of everybody out here. You hear all that clicking? We're thinking that it's some kind of beetle, like a pine beetle or something. I've been looking, I haven't actually found one yet. I think we just found a dead one. We have solved the mystery. These bugs like flick their wings really fast, and that's what's making that clicking noise. So you can kind of see like an old shell right there. I think that's what these bugs are hatching out of. And I'm thinking that maybe they grow up inside the bark of these trees, and they come out to hatch, and then it's mating season. It might be like a mating call for them.
I think so.
That's how they find their partner. There's two right here.
Are they doing it?
I think they're about to.
I want to watch them do it.
He's putting the moves on.
Is it weird that I want to watch them do it?
Only a little bit. Oh. Moves didn't work, buddy. She left. I've noticed a really big shift in Amy's mood and attitude and energy over the past week or so. And this happened immediately after one of our worst fights on the trail. I deserved a lot of what we were fighting about, but it seemed like she changed her mind about something. It kind of felt like something broke. I'm not sure how else to explain it. Maybe it was some of these things that have been holding her back for years. Maybe those things finally just broke and she shed them. She just seems happier. It was a very sudden shift, and I'm not quite sure what to make of it. Before we left for this hike, we were doing some work with the medicine man Lucas, and he's been helping us out and giving us lots of good advice and doing energy work with Amy. And what he told her is that basically as a result of all of this trauma that Amy experienced in her childhood years and even early adult years, her soul kind of left her body. And the purpose of this hike is basically to help her heal enough to the point where her soul feels comfortable coming back to her body. And I don't know, maybe when those things that have been holding her back kind of shed off of her, maybe that allowed a space to open up for her soul or for her true self to kind of re-enter and re-emerge. More of like the true Amy is kind of coming out and being revealed since then. We've just been getting along much better. Everything has been much more enjoyable since then. Our last day of the section. It's a shorter day today. We only have about 10 miles to do to get to the highway, and then we're going to try and hitch a ride into Santa Fe, which is over an hour away, I'm pretty sure. So this is going to be kind of a difficult hitch, but we'll get there. It might just take some time. So we've been trying to outrun this storm all morning, and it's kind of catching up to us at this point. We're taking one last break, and then we have a couple more miles to get to the highway. And hopefully somebody picks us up quick. We're trying to determine if we're more or less likely to get picked up if it's like pouring rain and we're soaking wet.
I'm Jessica Dick. This is Espanola, New Mexico. I'm not from here, but this is my home. I was on my journey home from a nice, relaxing weekend, and I love picking up a hitchhiker, so saw Alex standing out there. Had no idea that Amy and the dogs were with him, but he's like, "It's all of us." I'm like, "What the hell? Let me scoot my bow over, you guys hop in." And they asked me where the hotel was. I'm like, "I don't know, this town's kind of small." So we offered him to stay at the camper. This is my little camper this is my home that I can always have a place to call home. So before I took a job with the state of New Mexico saving little children from bad situations, I was gonna go off grid and just live in this thing. I have a whole water system. It's called a Julka. It's like it's a hot water heater unit, and I could use it as like a kitchen sink and a shower. So this is set up to go off grid. But for now, I mainly use it for hunting. Got a little kitchen. Got, some storage, lots of hidden storage, random hidden table. Awesome paint pour, the McNeelys, badass artists. All custom wood by my friend Mike McNeely. This is all wood from his grandmother's tree. He did the window frames and everything.
Today is one of those days that you don't expect having, I guess, when you wake up. So we made it to the highway. Didn't take too long to find our first ride, and he took us into the tiny little town of Abiquiu. Then we started trying to hitch out of there, and then a sheriff pulled up right next to us for some reason and just sat there. I don't know, maybe he was just waiting for speeders or something, but it kind of seemed like he was waiting for us to hitchhike so that he could give us a fine or something. Instead of trying to hitch right in front of a sheriff, we walked down the road a little ways and tried hitching down there. This woman stopped in her camper van, which I just realized. Something I asked for this morning before we made it to the highway was to get a hitch in a camper van. And she took us into the town of Espanola, which is like maybe halfway to Santa Fe. And this is where she lives, so she wasn't going to go any farther. So she said that we could just stay here in this camper van tonight. So that's what we're doing. Basically, as soon as we got settled here, it just started pouring, and it's raining hard outside. And it's been raining hard for like an hour, so we're very grateful to not be outside and to have some shelter. And I guess I kind of got what I asked for. Getting a ride in a camper van, kind of. We're staying the night in one.